This episode contains segments that may be unsuitable for some audiences. For your convenience, these segments have been identified in the timestamps within the video description.
So, who are the people who totally lost it over the TikTok ban?
Oh, you mean the people who like dye their hair neon pink, theater kids, and the OnlyFans models?
Remember when OF used to mean our future?
Do you remember when OF was actually a word? When it meant of?
Most of TikTok's diehard users, I'd imagine, are born after 2005. These kids were out here saying that's the worst thing this has ever happened in their entire lives.
That's ridiculous. Like, we've survived like actual real historic events, like real events.
Blizzard in 96,
9/11,
I2K,
Anthrax,
Clinton Lewinsky scandal,
McGreevy using his sexual orientation to distract the public from the corruption scandal,
2003 invasion of Iraq,
the West Nile virus.
Princess Diana's death.
What?
The whole world stopped.
I don't allow it.
Tupac getting shot.
Biggie getting shot.
Dial-up internet.
That sound is haunting. Remember Purple Ketchup?
The Macarena.
Call me now.
But let's not forget about Miss Trunchbull and Matilda.
Meanwhile, these kids think that losing TikTok is their Great Depression.
These kids also think they got depression. Anyway, let's get into it. Hello. Welcome to Concrete Cactus.
Episode 1.
Last one was a dry run. I'm Ryan.
Brandon.
Boy, do we got a show for you, man.
It's been an interesting last week.
How's your week been, man? It's getting warm out there?
Filled with snow. Last episode, I mentioned how Jersey doesn't get any snow anymore. Must have jinxed it because we got the first wintry mix in years. It froze up. There's still ice on the car outside. And it's 3 days after.
Nostradamus in the house. See you.
But yeah, dealing with weather out in Jersey. Unpleasant weather. The low today was 8.
And I thought walking the dog at like 4:30 in the morning, like 32-degree temperatures was wild, man. Like,
I give it a week.
at this point, it's just me opening the door, let the dog go out. She does her business, and then she like immediately runs back inside.
She's not used to it either.
Nah, she ain't about it, man. I'm not trying to get her one of those puffy jackets from like Petco. I spend $30 on a puffy jacket that the dog's gonna tear up. Like, I did that once, never again.
I don't blame it.
Think I should show him the dog, man. Nah, I don't feel like showing him the dog. My week. It's been pretty interesting. I've been experimenting with supplements for the last month or so. I've been purchasing different supplements to see what is beneficial to my body while working out and just living everyday life.
That's like,
And it's going well, actually. It's not expensive. It's a little tedious, but I'm used to tedious. So that's been my highlight of my week. That and little guy, he's getting old, man. Getting old.
oh, you got a birthday this week.
He knows a little song off Squid Games, like the one that's like da 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 da.
You know, we have meeting calls throughout the week. And there was one day where we want to call, and the song is playing in the background, bro. It took me 2 days to get this song out of my head. I'm walking around and like, yo, it's stuck in my head.
Man, that kid makes me cry on the inside, man. Anyway, I say we get the big news of the week or the last couple days.
So this is big news. Trump was officially sworn in as our 47th. His inauguration held indoors. You know, impact on Arizona. Immigration attorneys preparing for mass deportations. We already knew that was coming. All over the country. In Jersey, Phil Murphy making a personal appeal to Trump to kill a congestion pricing. Told you my boy Phil Murphy gonna be playing. Y'all got no comments?
Actually, I do have a couple remarks. I have a prepared statement I'd like to read. Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of the United States, who is also forever enshrined in Hollywood cinema for his unforgettable cameo in the 1992 hit family classic Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, where he famously directed Kevin McAllister to go down the hall and to the left, is now the 47th president of the United States. While his approach may not always follow the script, I hope his decisions reflect wisdom and a commitment to the greater good. Leading a nation is a bit more complicated than giving directions to an unaccompanied minor in a fancy hotel lobby. But I'm praying for him to navigate the challenges ahead, not just for America's role in the world stage, but for the prosperity of all citizens. With leadership comes responsibility, and I'm hopeful his actions will deliver results that benefits everyone. And the views expressed here are my own and do not reflect the official position of the Department of Defense or the U.S. Army. I will not comment further.
And with that, I think we should transition into hot takes and cold subs.
Good idea. All right. Trigger warning. This next story involves self-harm and very lewd behavior. According to several local outlets as well as TMZ.
TMZ? Is that
TMZ is a story.
That should just gonna be interesting.
A gentleman by the name of, the name's interesting. Just got to get it out the way. Nautica Malone.
Like, actually,
That's really his name. Not a rapper's name. Not a clothing brand. Like, that's really his name. He was caught on video pulling up at a Bikini Beans coffee.
what is that?
Bikini Beans coffee. Think of Hooters meets Starbucks. Basically, you have bikini-clad women take your order for coffee and serve you coffee.
This is a thing?
Yep. So the gentleman pulls up at the Bikini Bottom coffee sign on the Bikini Beans coffee, looking like a hybrid of Myra's from Fresh and Fit and Jason Tatum. Pulls up to take his order. The problem is that he had no pants on, and the lady asked how he was, and then she asked him if he's ever been here before, and he's like, yeah. And she was like, straight up, sir, you need to leave. And then this guy looks flabbergasted and it just zips up out of the parking lot. She's like, unacceptable. Call 911. Whether it was reported to the police or not, it ended up on the internet, and it quickly spread online with millions of viewers accusing Mr. Malone for inappropriately touching himself in front of the manager. What appears to be the manager. According to several sources, Malone then offed himself on January 11th. According to the Maricopa County Medical Examiner, Tempe police told TMZ on the night of Malone's untimely ending, members of his family showed up at the coffee shop, as they should, stating Malone had offed himself over the incident. TMZ reached out to the owner of Bikini Beans Coffee, a gentleman by the name of Ben Lyles, who told them, and I quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the individual involved during this difficult time. This was an unfortunate and tragic situation. As a company, the safety of our employees is always our top priority. In this case, an individual chose to commit a crime at one of our locations. We take incidents like this very seriously and remain committed to protecting our team and maintaining a safe and respectful environment."
Did you do background research on this guy?
Nautica? Yeah. He was married for wife and kids.
What? That's crazy.
Wait, talking about the Bikini Bottoms coffee?
Yes. Type this name. His Instagram came up. Yeah. Benjamin Lyles, to be exact.
Oh my God. Entrepreneur, co-founder, Bikini Beans Coffee, husband, girl, dad. Hashtag we don't give. EEEFOC. Romans 3 verse 23. Hey, listen, if you're all about Bikini Beans Coffee and skinny clad women giving you coffee and all that, sure. But there's a level of discretion that goes with that. Like, don't connect beautiful women in swimsuits serving me coffee with the Bible.
Bro, do you want to know what Romans 3:23 is?
I'm going to pull that up real quick. Those who are not religious or who haven't been to Bible study in 12 years like myself, Brandon, please give us the gospel.
For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
I mean, listen, a broken clock is right twice a day. So, man, he is right for putting out that statement and those remarks, whether they are sincere or insincere, was the right thing to do from a business perspective. However, was the video submitted to law enforcement and then it was posted on the internet, or was this posted straight on the internet? That's my question. Because even though what this gentleman did was inappropriate, definitely damn near inexcusable, even if he had a mental health condition or not, I can see a lawyer for the family arguing to some degree that what was done was some form of bullying. The mom, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check this, went out on social media. Statement reads off of her Facebook, "This is the blank that went up to my son's car and recorded this blank video that caused him to take his life. She's invaded his privacy by going up to this car. Please share this picture of this blank so that we can make her pay. Justice for Nautica baby boy, your mom is fighting for you. I'm not going to rest until you have peace." I am conflicted, Brandon. I am conflicted. I'm conflicted.
Clearly, I personally feel like she invaded his privacy by putting that video out there. I guess it's up to, you said this happened in Tempe?
It happened in Tempe.
So, I mean, it's up to, I guess, their DA to pursue some kind of charges.
Well, it's a difficult situation because I can see how somebody can argue cyberbullying. I mean, this gentleman, he did commit a crime. He did expose himself very inappropriately in public. And I think I should probably read some Arizona laws on that real quick. Because Arizona law is weird. Arizona laws regarding nudity and exposure in public or semi-public places, just as a car, are generally governed by statutes related to indecent exposure and lewd conduct. Decent exposure. A person who commits indecent exposure if they expose their genitals or private parts where someone else is present and offended. Recording someone exposing themselves in their car and posting video online can raise several legal issues in Arizona, even if the act of exposure was unlawful. Expectation of privacy. Arizona law protects people from being recorded where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy. The car is parked in public spaces often diminishes the expectation of privacy, particularly if the person is visible from outside. Revenge porn and harassment. Welcome to 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, ding, ding. The Arizona revenge porn law. It is illegal to distribute intimate images of recordings of someone without their consent if it causes harm or distress. Posting a video intended to embarrass or shame someone could still lead to claims of harassment or obstruction of justice. The video was evidence in an ongoing investigation and you posted it without authorization. It can be seen as interfering with the case. Now I'm going to ask, what if a person who was filmed in a lewd act in public, but the video is posted on the internet and it goes viral, when something like that should immediately be submitted to the police instead? What if the individual caught in the act offed himself? Apparently, situation could have serious legal, civil, and moral implications for the person who recorded or shared the video. Harassment or cyberbullying. The act of sharing video tended to humiliate, shame, or harass individuals. The recorder/poster could face charges of harassment or cyberbullying. Remember, this is a business. Civil liability, wrongful death lawsuit. Deceased person's family could file a wrongful death lawsuit against the person who shared the video. They would need to prove that the act of sharing the video caused and contributed to the person's emotional distress, which led to their offing. Beyond legal consequences, the person who shared the video could face severe reputational damage, i.e. the mom coming for that lady's throat, which, by the way, I do not condone eye for an eye behavior. The mom, as she should, was very emotional and very distraught about the situation which has occurred. Whether she was acting on emotion or she was dead ass.
This is just a sad story.
I think it's sad because it's like, you really got to play devil's advocate here.
It's avoidable. Like, this wasn't, like, yeah, he did something wrong, but you allow the police to do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, things might change. Like, you don't know what he's going through.
Mm-hmm.
For you to be able to post that, or you're determining for yourself that everyone needs to know.
And this is another thing too, and I hate to go down this road because this is not fresh and fit. A woman was the one who filmed it and the one who posted it on the internet. What if a guy was the one who filmed it and a woman was in that car and he posted that on the internet?
I had a field day with that.
Exactly. The situation would have been far more severe for the gentleman who filmed it. Now, for this lady who filmed it, Only God knows. I say all the time, life is discretionary, but some things in life are black and white. Regardless of gender, if you're filming stuff like that and posting on the internet, whether you sent it to the police or not, you're putting yourself in a serious legal situation, especially if you're doing that at work, especially doing that with your face briefly being exposed on the video. You're basically in a whole world of trouble. We could all learn from this. Number one, keep your pants on, keep your clothes on, whether you're at Bikini Beans Coffee, Jaguars off the 17, or Lookers back east. Careful what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Because that behavior is inappropriate. Can also be a sign of a mental health issue. And it's not an excuse, but a idea of why it's happening. I hope both sides have learned from this situation. Hope they both find peace. This situation would have came out a lot differently. We would have had a man in jail and or receiving mental health services. We'd have a employee of a coffee shop being applauded for doing the right thing. I'm a big advocate of working your psyche. That man could have got the help he needed, whether it was through his own means or through legal means. But Romans 3:23 on your IG page, and you own a coffee shop with bikini babes?
Very interesting.
What time do you left?
We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. So, we had a slow week actually in Jersey. It's a Target crash in North Bergen. Dump truck. Let's put the video up right here. Speeds through the intersection and crashes through the Target. If I'm not mistaken, it rips through a trailer. Officials say the dump truck was being loaded with soil and rocks at the top of a hill across from the Target. Driver apparently lost control of his vehicle, went through the intersection, crashed into the back of a tractor trailer, and then went into the Target. 6 people were injured, including women who became trapped in the store's restaurant. Yo, imagine the sound of the wall being blown out by this dump truck. Trailer that it ran through before it hit the Target actually slowed it down, and that the damage could have been worse. Sprinkles went off. There's no word on the actual damage of all of the product inside the Target, but I'm sure it took some kind of loss. Imagine it being in the bathroom and a dump truck ripping through the wall with a loud explosion. My day is ruined.
She better get paid by the bullseye.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, so what's up? What else is going on back out east, man?
We get into Govball. Govball lineup just dropped.
Yeah, man. Our hometown festival. Love that. Been going to Govball since 2012. I've been to like 6 of them. Always a good time. Always a good time. Now I'm getting homesick.
Tyler, Creator on Friday. Be completely honest, out of all of the people that are performing, I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I only know like 5 people. Garden's a great band, by the way. I mean,
9.
my brother put me on to them. Got Peggy on there. I want to see JPEG. If I go, I'm there for JPEG, Tyler, and the Garden. Nothing to see on Sunday. I mean, Glass Animals, but then I'm not that big of a fan of Glass Animals. But maybe if I go with somebody's daughter, I'll see Glass Animals.
Glass Animals is the only reason to go on Sunday. I get a 1-day ticket. Friday is probably gonna be dumb packed.
Facts, yo. We're gonna be gooning out there, bro.
But yeah, what other festivals is this? I think everything else is left.
Yeah, a lot of the festivals this year, man, I haven't really seen anything noteworthy. Yeah.
Going into this next section is gonna be any easier.
But we got to do a trigger one for that one too.
And that's the segment we call Purple Politics. It's called Purple Politics because Arizona is known to be a
purple state.
And Jersey is very mixed. It's predominantly Democrat, but the waters are starting to change a little bit. So I think I proposed this question, Ryan.
Yo, what you got for me, brother?
What's your opinion on the American people blaming other Americans for the election of Trump?
So I prepared a statement for this very question, assuming that you were going to ask me this question, and it reads, Donald J. Trump, the 45th. I'm kidding. It's unfortunate, man. We need to come together.
Well, I'll tell you what my opinion is.
I think you're better speaking it than I am.
My opinion is Trump won because the Democrats did a poor job of planning a candidate or prepping a candidate to run against Trump, knowing that Trump was going to run for a second term.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the Democrats had an 8-year start. Trump served his 4 years. They had 4 years to get someone to run against him in his second run. Biden is clearly a placeholder, and they should have understood that.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the end of his presidency, and now Democrats are like, oh, we can't support this. He's not capable of being president, right? Then they opt to go with Kamala to run for president. Like, this is just terrible planning. The re-election of Donald J. Trump is because the Democratic Party failed to present a viable candidate to run against the obvious candidate for the Republican Party. There's no, we failed as a people. There's no, oh, shame on them for voting for him. Your Democratic Party failed you everywhere throughout the country. Like, if you go back and look at these states, there's a lot of states that flipped. There's a lot of states that would have gave a fighting chance that gave no fighting chance.
Trump won all the swing states.
And he was doing it early. A lot of people need to be more upset with the Democratic Party rather than upset with American people and their voting decisions.
You're a good point. I was in Stephen A's podcast recently, and it was about Trump's inauguration and how Democrats, similar to what you were just saying, failed the people by focusing on the wrong things. This is his words, not mine. And I thought it was a very interesting and insightful conversation. I also thought that this guy also works for ESPN, so how does he get away with saying these types of things? Because he went into transgender folk in sports, and man, that dude must have pulled a lot of strings to produce that podcast and say what he says, because I was like, damn.
It's got to be.
It got to be in his contract. Ain't no way in hell. I believe in the Constitution of the United States. Every president has contributed a positive thing for this country. Every president. And while we can all agree, we can all disagree on some of the platforms that our presidents have ran on and worked on, it's still the best country in the world compared to other countries. There's certain countries, our allies, beautiful countries, beautiful, lovely people, but they can't say certain things on newspapers or they get persecuted. There's some countries, some of them are allies, that women can't dress a certain way out in the streets. And there's some countries, some of them are our allies, who would execute first and ask questions later when a crime is committed. We are an imperfect country, relatively young compared to other countries. And you just only hope that things get better with time.
Other than that, what can we get into other than Trump not having his hand on the Bible? Is he actually president if he doesn't have his hand on the Bible when he's sworn in? We don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear that. Not again. Did Trump play a role in the ceasefire in the Gaza war?
Jesus loves me. Yes, I know. For the Bible tells me so.
Well, you could talk on this. What do we feel about Nazi Musk? How do we feel about that?
I can actually speak on that. I am a father of a special needs child who happens to have a condition within the spectrum, no pun intended, of Elon Musk. Autistic people are very impulsive people. They might say and do things that may not be normal or may not be appropriate. Greta Thunberg's a prime example. How dare you? Did Elon Musk release any remarks regarding that?
I don't think he's mentioned anything on it yet.
It's just unfortunate that I'm reading an article here. His gesture was embraced by right-wing extremists.
Right. I'm interested to see what Doge does.
Doja Cat?
Nah, man. Not the satanic musician.
That satanic biracial.
Anyway, let's move on. Want to get into prickly passes?
Yeah, so let's make this quick for Arizona because we already know what's going on. Bradley Beal wants to waive his no-trade clause to join the Bucks. Draymond Green mocked Nurkic recently by saying that the brother needs help. Same way that bro said a year or two ago that I guess they're living rent-free in each other's heads. I hope he does get some help because he's been trashed for the last couple of weeks. Apparently, he is so bad, the Suns have been unable to find a single team willing to take on his contract in a trade. What else we got here? The Knicks Suns have discussed that they want to use a 2031 first-round pick for a trade for Jimmy Butler. Apparently, Grayson Allen's been in talks of being traded out of Arizona somehow. Also, we traded for Nick Richards, the Hornets. He's a much more solid center for Josh Okogie. That's all I got for us, Arizona sports.
You watched the NCAA championship game?
ASU wasn't in it. I didn't even there's nothing to watch.
Halftime show was cool. Travis Scott performing on the top of the stadium.
Very appropriate. Seems like him.
I like the song.
What's your favorite Travis Scott song?
Favorite Travis Scott? That's crazy. That's difficult. I will probably have to go back to like Days Before Rodeo and think of something over there. Like Backyard or Back or Cray.
My favorite Travis Scott song is theoretically one that never came out. Or did it come out in full?
Which one?
SDP, the interlude from Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight.
Yeah.
The album version was nice, but once you look at the leaked version, like the extended version, the shit was hot. One of my favorite artists was sampled in that song, Washed Out.
How about NFL? Bills. Bills versus Eagles in the Super Bowl.
I hope it's Bills versus Eagles. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't care who wins the NFC Championship at this point. It's hard not to root for Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, that kid's got heart, man.
Once you hear his story, I seen him play at ASU. I also see him leave ASU. I saw what they did to his shit when he left ASU. Disrespectful as hell.
Did you hear about his training? The VR training?
I heard about that, yeah.
That's impressive. When he did this VR training, they sped up the gameplay, I guess you would say. Sped up the gameplay by 1.75 times. So he's getting rushed faster in the virtual reality simulation of playing. The results showed up on the field.
I'm looking at stats right now.
You got it?
I actually Googled, is Jaden Daniels on Vyvanse?
Speaking of Eagles, you catch a Bodega Cat in his Eagles gear, courtside.
Yeah, man. My boy. Dominicano, North Jersey. Represent.
Since we're talking about people sitting courtside because they're out, let's talk about Bridges.
Oh, speaking of street clothes, wait, Bridges? He's missed a game?
No, he has not.
About to say.
The record for all-time consecutive games is 1,192.
Yeah, he's the longest active player right now. Yeah. Jalen Brunson's also an Eagles fan. He also went to Villanova.
The Nova Knicks.
From Jersey, too?
Who?
Jalen Brunson's from Brunswick.
Well, that would explain why he lives down there and that he has a sponsorship with Wawa.
I had an itch. It's like, wait, hold up. This nigga can't be an Eagles fan because he went to Villanova. It got to be something else. Shout out to Wikipedia. They call New Brunswick South Jersey. That's what I'm talking about.
Getting things right. Even though it's kind of like central.
Bro, don't do that shit. Concrete cactus, right? New Jersey has a North Jersey and a South Jersey. Nothing else. We don't do that Central Jersey stuff here.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. What else we got?
Go Birds.
Wrap it up. Damn.
We were yesterday years old when we discovered that the mayor of our hometown,
Former mayor.
when we were kids, is an advisor to RFK Jr. The RFK Jr.
Himself.
Yeah. Can I make fun of his voice or do I gotta pull this out? He's not confirmed yet. So even though this guy might get the chicken shack shut down, that is a glow up. So for you to come from being within the community to then being mayor of your hometown, to being a council member in your county. If I'm not mistaken, he was in the state council.
Assemblyman.
Regardless if you agree with the man's platform or not, it's refreshing to see that. I forgot my train of thought here, bro.
Yeah, he won the general election for councilman for Roselle at the age of 25.
Damn. What were you doing at 25? I was in Kosovo. What were you doing?
At Rolling Loud.
A council member is definitely a lot more impressive at 25 than being on deployment or in a mosh pit.
2011, he became the mayor of the borough of Roselle. Youngest mayor, and it's the 117-year history.
The mayor turned advisor to the presumptive United States Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Impressive.
Impressive.
Excited to see what kind of work he gets done over there.
I'm curious. To be fair, I don't I mean, can I? Do I need this? Do I not need this? Let's just say that I can find common ground with RFK Jr. As someone who had to take the vaccine, but didn't care about taking it, I understand why some people didn't want to take it back in 2020. And I don't blame them. I mean, I'd be skeptical too. There's limitations. I feel that institutions, as well as bodies of government, should have over what people should be prescribed to within their bodies.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
And I believe the gentleman was an advocate for vaccine choice as well during the pandemic, which makes his role a perfect fit for him, because it's not like this dude magically fell out the sky and started advocating for these sort of things that RFK Jr.'s advocated for. I mean, this was him. Whether the viewers or listeners agree with it or not, you got to respect that, you know, because I understand people change, people evolve their ideologies, but some people, they do it like this. No, flip-flop. Some people, they take their time and they learn something new. I have nothing respect for it.
Agreed.
Yo, they really got RFK Jr. labeled as a conspiracy theorist on Wikipedia. Like, that's an actual, like, occupation, bro.
And with that, we end our first episode. Thank you for watching From the Concrete.
Hi, Mom. And Cactus.
Have a good one.
Stay warm.